I'm Brandy Williams, founder of Williams Accounting and Tax Services in McDonough, Georgia. We're a full-service accounting firm proudly serving clients nationwide, including military families and U.S. expats. With over 20 years of experience as an IRS-enrolled agent, we've got you covered from past tax returns to business services and strategic tax planning. Visit WilliamsActTax.com. Let's get connected and take your finances to the next level.
What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Erica from Slash My Blog. You know, it's funny. As soon as I did the show, a car decided to park right under this tree. It was so peaceful behind me, this like really beautiful tree. And this car was like, yeah, let me park right here. I was just like, why? Who are you? Listen, what's up, everybody? This is girl, Erica. We are in the office. Let's get to it. You see the title. Trump didn't go to CPAC 2026. What does that mean? Now, earlier, Diamond Dave did a great show, Retail Trader, the Retail Trader channel. You can go check that video out. I shared it on the community wall. And again, the program is the program. Now, what was funny the other day, maybe 2 days ago, Super Sly was talking about Princess Diana was dumb. You know, and I laughed, but I was like, the truth is, yeah. She's from an old royal family. She knew what time it was. Just play your part. No one's bigger than the program. No one. Okay, so what did you see? CPAC 2026 is an event where every year they pitch something, one or two things, main themes that they want for the conservatives around the United States to promote, talk about. We'll even put their website up for y'all. And let me know if you can hear me and see me well. Put your city and state in chat. And just let me know if you guys can hear me well. And so what happens is they put out, now I'm just going to tell you how it usually goes. They put out the best of the best. Whoever's next up, they put them out, and you're like, ooh, like I really think he's gonna, have some kind of traction in a year or two. Like you get really excited about the people they bring on for CPAC. And this year it was real quiet. Won't know Candace, won't know Erica Kirk. It was like very sparse who was showing up this year. Now, every year it usually ends on the end, like a Glenn Beck or some big speaker, whoever's hot, right? Who's hot, who's up. And so you get excited. You get super excited. The video is frozen for you. I would say refresh your screen if the video is frozen for you. And so what ends up happening is I told y'all, if Donald, one, I wasn't going to go if he wasn't going to speak. That's the first thing I told y'all. I'm not going. I'm not paying money. I'm not going if he's not speaking. And I knew all of a sudden he wasn't speaking. So you got Texas, like these are the speakers. A bunch of, I'm not going to say nobodies. They're always heavy hitters within our government. But Texas Governor, Robert Kennedy Jr. I mean, these are people who, no disrespect, none of these people are running for president. None of them. Some of these are other foreign country leaders. It was like a very lackluster, it's like the most lackluster lineup I've ever seen in a long time. Now, they always give you some kind of mission, like we're going to go out. Now, a couple years ago, prime example, you went out, CRT. We got to get the CRT out of the schools. And before you knew it, they were making action committees. They were raising billions of dollars. They were getting the CRT out of the schools. They getting the DEI. We're not going to be woke anymore. Like every year there's a mission. This year, I felt like the mission was just hold on. Like they're talking about, we're going to talk about human trafficking. We're going to talk about all these different things. But I really felt like this is what they were, working on. They always work on justice, regulatory freedom. But I really feel like this year was like, whew, good gracious. We just hold on. Like we don't have a theme. It's not a strong theme this year. And every time I go, 1/3 of the audience is the tiny cats. So you make that what you will. Okay. And so again, all the lawmakers, they give them the ratings, they talk about them, all this good stuff. Now we're for and we're against, right? So they start sharing stuff, giving you a mission. CPAC, gets the most diehard business owners riled up and on mission. You can pay for fancy dinners and you can eat with, senators, and it's cool, right? It's cool. I've already posted a picture in the past where me and the cop Brandon off YouTube, you can look at guess what I'm talking about. We went, and that year they were asking a room of 300 Black and Latino conservatives, hey, we need y'all to run for office. We need about 228 people to run for office. We're going to look for some of y'all in here and some of y'all elsewhere. This is when I was approached by cool conservatives to run in Georgetown, Texas. This is when I was approached to do several things. And I just was like, I don't think a single Black woman who moved to Texas can beat a Latino Democrat family man business owner in Georgetown, Texas. I think this is a bad matchup, and I don't want to sign up for it, and I don't want to be involved. And even though y'all tell me you're going to put $2 million in campaign marketing behind me, that doesn't make sense for me. Just doesn't. And I was making good YouTube money at the time, so why would I want to spoil that? Because I had to give up some of that. And so CPAC is very influential, just to kind of lay it out. I hope, is everybody getting the vibe I'm putting down about how important CPAC is? And so for CPAC to not end with the president of the United States or the vice president speaking on stage and giving you the rally on the last day, whoo, yikes. It's bad, okay? And then on top of that, there's nobody that came on stage to kind of be like, he's 2028, he's after Trump. Like there was none of that energy, right? So it's bad. It's like, we're just holding on. Now, why is this important? Right now, the Republicans, which I don't think they're gonna be able to make it do it. When you do the census will show, even though people in California are in denial, people in LA are in denial, New Yorkers are in denial, they will be losing electoral votes, electoral college people. And Arizona will pick up 2, Texas will pick up 2, and Florida will pick up 3. I maybe we're on the mount, but anyway, so that's why I told y'all we just experienced the last election where we say, oh, what does Pennsylvania think? What does Ohio think? How did they vote? We will not give a damn. From here on out, from every election from here on out, it will be, what will Arizona do? What will North Carolina do? Will it be purple or will it be blue? What will Florida and Texas? That's it, over and over and over. For the next 10 years after this election, that's only states that will matter. North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, because they try to always flip it to blue. They can't get enough Negroes in Atlanta to do it. Florida, Texas, and Arizona. That's it. The years of us staying up all night. What is Pennsylvania going to do? What is Ohio going to do? We don't give a damn what Pennsylvania do. Again, I told y'all this was coming long before this. That demographic shift, we don't care about the Midwest like that. That's why they're having to do so much marketing and pulling and, hey, we're going to have the Columbine in Indiana when nobody wants it in Indiana anymore, but they keep having it there, right? We're going to have, this event here in Ohio and nobody wants it there, right? Strategically, it's good between our brother Canada. But other than that, we don't care. And I know people just, oh, Erica, that's a terrible theory. No, it's not a theory. I'm straight up. We don't care what's going on in those states anymore. They're not massive engines of this country anymore. They are significant. Don't let it get twisted. Very significant, very important. Just when it comes to elections and things in the future, we will not. They won't sway the country. Okay, they just won't. So why is this important? Why do we need to talk about this? I believe Trump is in poor health. Here's my second part of that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because he is one man in
the president who has dementia.
We are going to run the program. Now, what do I believe is the program for the rest of this presidency? Now, by the grace of God, if we could win the midterms, they would just keep on going hard. But because they are probably not, and the percentages and the poly market are saying not going to win the midterms, what's going to happen is from here to literally November, it's going to get it. The news is going to make you want to bomb it every day. It's going to be so volatile. They're going to throw so much stuff at the wall. Left and right, so many things are going to get thrown at the wall. You're going to be like, what is going on? The stock market is going to be like crack clusters. It's going to be crazy. That's why I tell y'all, go get with Dr. Chaz, go get with the retail trader, David Williams, go see what they're talking about. Because literally Elon just was like, yeah, I'm about to drop another 20. Like he
says the entire world right now can only produce 2% of what he actually needs. So he's building his own supply chain right here in Texas. I'm curious, What do you think about this so far? This facility would need to be thousands of acres and need massive power, like pretty much like the power of a small city. And it could be bigger than Tesla's gigafactory. Construction is already being prepped. Hiring has already started. The production could begin in 2027. So is this the growth that Austin really needs right now? And right now in Austin, AI infrastructure is exploding. Driverless trucks are hitting the highways. If you've been following, make sure you hit the follow button. We've talked about this. Flying taxis are being tested. And now this, a potential $20 billion chip factory powering the next generation of technology. This isn't just growth anymore. This is complete transformation. Are we literally watching Austin become the most important tech city in the world right in front of our eyes? You tell me. I'm Jeremy Knight, your favorite Austin realtor. Make sure you drop a comment below. And by the way, if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in the Austin.
So let me unpack what I just showed you. He basically is like, I'm gonna drop 20 billion over here. And I'm pretty sure it's to the right of the airport. Him and two billionaires just bought up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of acres to the right of the airport in Bastrop. Now, at first everybody said, oh, maybe it's for sports, MLB team. They've been talking, Elon, come on, let's do an MLB team. Let's do all this stuff. Now, here's the problem. Many people are like, well, Erica, there's no water in Texas. Incorrect. Where does the aquifer come from, you guys? Austin, Texas. The aquifers come from Austin, Texas, and the place, like a little bit of the county above us. Like when you get to Killeen, it looks like a desert. It looks like a long desert. And you're like, what is going on? And then boom, once you hit Harker Heights, lush greenery, because the water comes up from the ground there. Then our water goes all the way down and connects with some other water in the hill country. Then you have the Colorado River. You have all this water in Austin. And when people keep saying they don't understand, Erica, Texas is running out of water. No, the aquifers come from there. They come from there. The water's coming up from the ground, from there. Okay. And then off to, if you go to the left, we have Johnson Lake. We could do about 4 or 5 of these things. Dr. Shaz, I just said they need to reach out to you and Dr. David Williams. But why am I showing you this? Why does this matter? You're like, oh, Erica, you just keep talking about Austin. No, I'm talking about Austin because if I actually pull out 150 news articles, it is nothing but energy. Elon is now approved for a nuclear reactor, okay, a small one. They're approving so many things so fastly, you would literally need a person in your office every day just combing through mail. AI can't even comb through as fast of the mail as is going on right now. Elon even put something to the left of Memphis, and the people in Memphis are complaining, okay, because he went and hit that water too. I don't think y'all understand when I say, oh, Trump's gonna be a lame duck. No. Nobody's bigger than the program. When I talk about the homeschoolers, the tax incentives, the programs that are in the pipeline, coming down the pipeline, that they have already executive order put stuff in, it's insane, y'all. Like I'm sitting in meetings with people who are like, yo, we're getting ready to build this, we're getting ready to build that. And I'm like, whoa. And then the amount of conversation that's being had, that's above my pay grade, that's even above my accessibility. Like when I'm having conversations, I'm like, I don't even know how I can get involved in that, right? Like, I don't even know how to help in this kind of thing, right? It is going to be literally like throwing spaghetti on a wall. Any and everything that was on the checklist that Trump had promised, it's going down this summer. That's why I said volatility will be so insane. And people who we've been telling for years, hey, man, you need to own some stocks, you need to own some houses, you need to own some land. Mortgage applications have gone up. And people are like, yeah, it's crashing. I'm like, no, you're about to be in a hyperinflation situation here. It's about to be crazy. And again, I keep telling you, they're like, yeah, the fertilizer, we're going to have like 45 million people in the world hungry. No, not in the world, in Africa. Let me just be very clear. America's a bread box. South America's a bread box. Them Brazilians, them Argentinians, them Chileans, them Ecuadorians, the Colombians, they gonna grow that food. Panama, Belize, coffee, chocolate, they're gonna grow that food. And I know y'all want so bad, Erica, but they said, listen to me, I'm telling you as much as I can express it. Sorry, I'm trying to move the camera over. everything that was on it that was going to be promised, y'all not ready for it. Y'all not ready for as much stuff as they promised. And that's why I've been so heavy on, oh my God, I gotta like, I love YouTube. It's great. It puts money in my pocket. It's been put in my pocket for years. I gotta continue for banks reasons to make it look like it. Money over here. But I'm gonna be neck deep in government contracts. I already we put a staff member on today, and their only job is to apply for government contracts and read reports every day for 3 of our businesses and see what we can apply for and what we can get, and just be throwing it every day. Like, they're already hired. So we got one. We're going to try to get a second procurement person and just rack it up, because it's going to be very luscious. And the next batch of people running for office are going to have to make themselves look different than Trump, and also this post-Trump economy. But by the time you start hearing people talk about post-Trump, it'll be a year and a half from now. Like, we all know what lame duck means, yada, yada, yada. But literally, the way they'll talk about post-Trump is like, because people have short-term memory. The way they'll start running for Congress and running for office in about a year and a half, it's about to be very lit. Now, I'm going to show this guy. This is with a grain of salt. I don't take him for everything. But this is, and he said the same thing about Biden. He wasn't just mad at Trump. He said this about Biden. And this is just some of the stuff. And I'm going to show maybe 3 of these, because again, it's so biased, but he used to be a MAGA person. And it's very interesting. So let me play some of it.
I'm going to show you how this little move right here is a predictor of how long somebody has left to live. I'm a physical therapist with a doctorate in my field and 14 years experience working in home health care, treating geriatric patients with dementia and all sorts of other shit, just like the president.
This is not an auto pen.
Now, that may not look like much to the general public, but for a physical therapist who works with geriatric population, I'm immediately noticing he's requiring support to achieve the act of sitting, which most likely indicates he has to have support to achieve the act of standing. I use the sit to stand movement as an exercise all by itself to keep my patients out of the hospital, keep them from falling, and to improve their strength and balance. And the reason I do this is there is clinically validated data that suggests when a patient cannot sit to stand 5 times in a row in less than 16 seconds from a chair like this, their mortality from all causes over the next 5 years is significantly increased. I routinely tell my patients, if you can do 5 of these sit to stands with your arms crossed over your chest in a row, you are very likely to never need to see me ever again. And that, of course, motivates them to exercise on their own because they don't want to see my ass anymore. You watch him do this. Do you think that he could stand up and sit down without using any support in less than 16 seconds? The answer is no. And if anybody in the White House sees this video, I'd like to publicly dare the president to do this on camera. But he fucking won't, because he fucking can't. And it's yet another.
He does a lot of cussing. Let me keep going. Let me keep moving. There's just a couple of them. Again, it's if you're just paying attention. And again, now people are gonna say, well, Erica, didn't you vote for Trump? Hell yeah, I voted for Trump. But I want you to understand what's happening. When Woodrow Wilson had strokes and became incapacitated, his wife actually ran the White House for 17 months. When Biden became a weekend at Bernie's, this last election, and y'all are still in denial about it, his wife attended all the White House meetings for the last 18 months. This is a very common thing where the president, Ronald Reagan, when he started walking around confused, the program goes on. The mission continues. One monkey don't stop no show. I don't think y'all understand the powers that be. Unless this man just falls down and goes, boop, goes to sleep, they will prop this man up for the remainder of this time, and the money will keep on going. Now, there's a couple times you saw Biden that it was very questionable. Is that him? The left face mask? Who is it? Now, I'm not gonna go down that road today, but I'm just saying we ain't seen Biden in physical. Can I see you live on camera since? I think maybe Jesse Jackson funeral, they claimed that was him. I don't know if that was him. I think that man did. But anyway, let's keep on.
One of the president's former lawyers just called him a demented narcissist. just like I've been telling y'all for months now. I'm a physical therapist with a doctorate in my field and 14 years experience working in home health care, treating geriatric patients with dementia, just like the president.
Fact that, we're seeing this kind of response from the president, someone you worked for. And what does it say about where we are as a country when families at their most vulnerable state? Here it is on your screen. Basically, the president saying it's good that Robert Mueller died.
So that's the type of person that President Trump is. He's a demented narcissist, seriously hates anybody who stands in opposition to him, has reworked the Justice Department into a revenge machine, and, rules the country in a very authoritarian manner, with the assistance of a cowardly cabinet and even more cowardly Republicans in Congress. And that's tragedy. That's something we're all having to deal with. But I think, rather than focusing on, the despicable response of a demented president, that we should really focus on the hero that we lost today, and ideally gain some inspiration and some strength that we can bring out on No King's Day when we stand up again for our country.
This is all in response to what the president posted about the passing of Robert Mueller. He said, "Good, I'm glad he's dead." That was a 90-second interview in which Ty Cobb, a lawyer, made sure that everybody who heard him say, "This motherfucker has dementia." He said it twice, and he knows what it means legally to say that publicly. I'm telling y'all, the more we keep talking about this, the more the momentum will shift to getting him the fuck out of the Oval Office. Just like I fucking told y'all, the frontal...
It cusses a lot. He's talking about frontal lobe dementia. There's a lot of stuff on here. Yikes, that I could go over. And again, it's so bad. It just keeps being worse and worse and worse. I'm trying to find something that isn't bad, but they're all bad. They're all bad. Oh gosh. Sundowning. Here we go.
The president was sundowning on Truth Social once again because he has dementia. I'm a physical therapist with a doctorate in my field and 14 years experience working in home health care, treating geriatric patients with dementia, like this piece of shit. You literally have to have a PhD in linguistics to understand what the fuck this gigantic post was really about. It reminds me of Bilbo Baggins at his birthday saying, "I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve," or something with alcohol.
Again, he is very angry. Let me see, where is he at? I think he said the same stuff. He's like, yeah, Biden too.
What about Biden? That's usually what the MAGA twat waffles are saying in my comments section. But I've also been getting some good faith questions. People asking, what do you think about Joe Biden's cognitive status, his health? And I think that Joe Biden does not have dementia. I think he has age-related cognitive decline, the typical decline you would see with someone that is in their 80s like he is, and has now also been through cancer treatment as well. The current president, definitely has clinical signs of dementia, no doubt about it. This is a great argument for age and term limits for anybody in elected office. We have so many elected officials that are far too old, and it has normalized being far too old in a position of power in our society, in our culture. It's got to stop. We need...
Again, we don't have, again, I can show you a ton. John Fetterman had a stroke. He's still talking, right? Gosh. Donald Trump giving away these shoes, all this weird stuff. It gets worse and worse every time. I could play 9,000 of these. And it's just all bad. It's just all bad. It's just all bad. Every single one of them. There isn't one that is just, again, I don't know how to tell you. I don't know how to tell you. He talks about the hand. He talks about a lot of different things. So I'll play this one and then we'll move on.
But I noticed something at the very end that I might need some help from epistemic crisis. So here's the video.
Sit down.
All right. Take a look at how he walked when he turned around and walked down the aisle. All right, let's see if we can get him to do a video just talking about this last 3 seconds of this video.
Well, hello, friend. Yes, the gait that you're seeing him use is a wide-based gait. This is a symptom of dementia, specifically frontotemporal dementia. The atrophy of the frontal and temporal lobes is causing a decrease in balance, a decrease in safety awareness, and a decrease in muscle strength overall. Also, I believe he has history of stroke on the left side of his brain, which causes the right side of his face to droop, and also weakness in the right arm and leg. That causes him to swing that right leg in kind of a semicircular motion to get that leg to swing through rather than smoothly coming through like somebody who has not had a stroke or does not have dementia. So that's why his gait will appear wider, because he's swinging that leg through rather than a smooth transition from the stance phase to the heel strike phase. I'd say he's got approximately 2 months left in the land of the living, or before they're forced to impeach him or invoke the 25th Amendment.
Okay, again, like I said, y'all, I don't think they're getting rid of him. They're going to hold on to the very last drop of him being there, because it just I just don't see it. I don't see it how they're going to let him go, because it just is really unfortunate. So you could look at it. There's a lot of this stuff that just gets worse and worse. But at the end of the day, when I saw Donald Trump post that thing about Obama, I was like, ugh. And Erica's like, you see Erica, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. You can see it's getting worse. You can see it's not going well. But again, this is a person who doesn't take care of their health. And again, I keep telling y'all, it's like one monkey don't stop no show. They will not let this guy go. So what do I tell you? Okay, this is another, and this is
a bunch of you sent me this video from this voice and speech expert who's pointing out that Donald Trump is displaying signs of his swallowing mechanism getting weaker because of his dementia. I'm a physical therapist with a doctorate in my field and 14 years experience working in home health care, treating geriatric patients with dementia and swallowing issues, just like this guy.
The cartels are running and they're killing 250, 300,000 people in our country every single year. The drugs, it's horrible. It's devastated families. You lose a child or a parent. I mean, parents are dying too with drugs.
It's progressing.
That's correct.
As you may know, I am a voice and speech professor. And if I heard this with somebody I was working with, I would immediately recommend them to their doctor to get their brain scanned, because this is a symptom of late stage dementia, because the swallow response is deteriorating.
That's correct. The primary cause that someone with frontotemporal dementia expires from is pneumonia related to the aspiration of food or fluids. The food material goes down the wrong way and it develops pneumonia in the lungs, and that ends up being mortal.
Is causing so much saliva and wetness to come forward in the mouth that he has to slurp it back into his body in order to control it, so that he doesn't just end up drooling all over himself.
Exactly. This was very pronounced in the speech he gave the morning of the kidnapping of Nicolas Maduro and his wife. He was leaning forward with his head tilted down, so the moistness in his mouth was even more prominent, and he was having to work even harder to clear his mouth by swallowing. But
now you can watch a ton of these and make up your own decision, make up your own mind. He's not the only person speaking on this. There's like 15, 20 healthcare professionals talking about this. And it's a little weird, but there's a lot of video that we could say, yeah, probably that's not the best. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't want to sit here all night and beat up the conversation about it. Again, these people are too old to be in office. You even see Mitch McConnell, all this stuff. He talks about Mitch McConnell. He talks about a lot of people. Nobody wants Vance in there, y'all. Nobody, right? Man of tomorrow, I just don't want him dying in office. Too many incompetent people. Well, here's the thing. And I know everybody's like, they're incompetent. If you already have the program, it does not matter who's in office. If the program's out, man of tomorrow, if you come into a job tomorrow and they say, hey, man, this is what we're going to do. Let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take Cuba. We're going to take this place. We're going to take this place. And you just keep showing up to work. It's happening. Whether you want it to or not, it's happening. And you're just following the checklist. right? Every time I see Marco Rubio on TV, I feel bad for him because he look like, I don't know what is going on. And I truly believe they're going to run Marco Rubio and Santos together, some kind of combination, or Marco Rubio and somebody a little bit exciting, right? Listen, Biden was not Biden. I don't care what nobody say. But at the end of the day, the program is the program, y'all. And you're gonna say, okay, Erica, you've talked negative about this for about 10 minutes. Now, what do we do? How do we change? And I'm gonna play a clip from somebody y'all still don't like either, right? But I'm gonna play this clip, and it's be about 5 minutes. I'm gonna try to break it up a little bit. But the problem is we've been told 30 years ago, 1994, like I miss Tavis Smiley State of Black America speeches, right? Tavis Smiley had amazing funding and government, money. He could be on TV. And it wasn't until he started hooking up with his people that work underneath him at his job that it messed up the money. Okay. Tavis Smiley messed up his own money sleeping with the people that work for him. Okay. Let me play this. Let's get started. Again, this is part of a solution, not the total, but it does explain it because I told you guys, and a lot of people piss on me when I say, go back and read Glenn Beck's book in 2011 called Broke. And people are like, oh, it's Glenn Beck. Oh, it's Glenn Beck. If they can't think clearly, right, about it being Glenn Beck, if they can't separate their emotions, you're not a critical thinker anyway. It doesn't matter. There's over 400 footnotes in that book. And when Obama was telling y'all, like, we're going to have to choose something, Obama was talking to you about localization. Obama was talking to you in 2010, 2011 about certain things like, hey, we're going to have to close the national parks. And people like, Obama's closing the parks. And it was like, we're on a budget constraint, right? People love telling me how, I went to France and people feel bad for us in America. France can't feel bad for anybody right now. France is bankrupt. France is completely bankrupt. The 6 African countries that they bully and kill people and maim people are stopped paying them. So France is up creek. France is bankrupt. So France can't tell us anything. Portugal, Spain cannot tell us anything. They can't. Financially, they cannot. Okay. So we could deep dive into like 20 different states where this is a problem. Every time I ask somebody about California, the first thing they say, well, we're a donor state. We pay more than our state receives. And we do this and we do that. And it's like, listen, dude, no one gives a shit. like, so what, California? So what? You're a donor state. Texas is also a donor state. Like, it's so retarded at this point. You read the data for 2024, 2025, and I'm pretty sure for 2026, you're going to see that Texas will now become a donor state. But that's been California's like flag of we're better. And see, we're getting taxed to death. And I'll literally ask them, well, you guys are paying $2.20 in taxes on your gas. Gavin Newsom could just get that off you guys' back this year. Well, Erica, that's not what we're talking about. We pay high taxes because we have a lot of services. Again, you're paying $2.20 on top of normal gas prices that are nationwide around $3. Sometimes y'all paying close to $3 worth, right? Until people can pull their head out their ass about their state and really do an assessment like, does that make sense? This is why I told y'all by 2030, a lot of these states are going to go no income tax to draw in people. North Carolina is one of them. Tennessee's been one of them. Florida, Texas, right? They keep telling you the playbook. These states are going to try to attract even more people to come and be robust in the state. Okay? So there's already a layout. Like, this stuff you guys can read, you can analyze. This isn't a secret. They have written it in text. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. When people say, why don't more Black people get government contracts? Why are all these Somalians, these Armenians, these other people coming to America and taking all these programs and the daycare centers and the home health care? I said, because they read. I don't care how many times a day they want to call Somalians low IQ. I don't care if it's 10 of them in a room reading. They're all reading and repeating the play. Okay. Again, I'll get on the phone. I've been on the phone with thousands of people and I say, man, why don't you go get an LLC? It's about $125. You go get your bank account and you start applying for these contracts. Oh man, Erica. 2-3 years later, I'll hear from the same person. They still haven't got their LLC. If you are stuck at $125, baby, it's never for you. It was never for you. It's never for you. Good luck. America's passed you by. Good luck. It's a wrap for you. It's a wrap for you. Good luck. Okay. Let me play this.
You were here last. For those who did or did not see the show, we talked briefly about how American public policy historically has shaped, defined, and cast African Americans in their role and their place in America. How laws, legislation, and so much public policy related to politics and economics have held us at bay in a place.
Right.
You assert that we must now take the reins of control, economically and politically empower ourselves to come out of that place and do our own thing, in a manner of speaking. But you also assert that we take what has worked as successful models from white America, superimpose them on Black models for success, and do it in a timetable that will have to outrun our own obsolescence in this country. Is that an accurate assessment?
That is very accurate.
Then let's start by taking a look at what you have penned at chapter 5 of this particular book, Black Labor, White Wealth, when you quote historian Dan Lacey. And you write from Mr. Lacey, who criticized the hypocrisy of the dominant society's attitude toward Blacks, saying that, and I quote, whites denounce Blacks as lazy and lacking ambition, while they resent Black competition. They are angered by taxation for welfare and other social programs, but are equally angered by equal opportunity and affirmative action for jobs and job policies for Blacks. They mock the lower academic achievement of Black children, then assign the best teachers, materials, and financial resources to white schools in the suburbs. How can Blacks take control of their situation when that kind of force is exerted upon them in this society?
Two ways. First of all, let me go back to your first point. When you indicated that racism has in fact locked Blacks into their place. It did in fact do that. But what's going to happen now is that automation and new technology is going to wipe that place out. We anticipate, Daryl, somewhere between about 26 million people in this nation becoming obsolete by that year 2013. And out of that, the greater portion is going to be Blacks. So we got to figure out how do we not get wiped out by automation. Now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, please.
Now, if we're going to become competitive, we must go.
Pause. Let's pause there for a second. I don't, fair use, all that free speech, whatever they want, YouTube wants from us. Listen, there's another book, I've talked to y'all about it, Disintegration of Black America by Eugene Robinson. Now, anytime I do a show, people say, what about the Blacks, Erica? What about the Blacks? I just showed y'all a chart the other day of Black Americans and Black businesses are up. They're at all-time highs. And it's not YouTubers, and it's not social media, and it's not influencers, and it's not food restaurants. Because every time you ask somebody about a Black business, they're like, well, the food restaurants better have better service and the attitude of the girl. Like, what in the hell are you talking about, bro? Number one for Black people is home health care. Number one is actually construction. Number two is like home healthcare related industries. Number three is like professional services, clerical services. Number four is it warehouse? It might be warehouse. Number five is transportation. Number six is something else. And number seven is food. Right? So we're talking about you're gonna have all this stuff before you even get to food. But if you ask the average Black person, I don't support Black businesses because they charge $150 for t-shirts. And I'd be like, please get your stupid ass away from me. And don't talk to me ever again. What's happening here is the K-shaped economy. We're the most dramatic, extreme version of the K-shaped economy. Do we have a 20%, 25%? I'm gonna be generous. 30% over there that is cutting up, very poor, limited services, limited education, struggling right now? Hell yes. And they've been locked in that since 1994. Since the Bill Clinton feel good years, they've been locked in there. Their grandma. I mean, I'm telling you, y'all are literally going to school with the grandchildren of crackheads. If you have children in school right now, they are, some of them are the grandchildren of crackheads. Some of them are actually the children of crackheads. But you have that segment, right? But then you have this I'm gonna go high numbers just for the sake of the conversation. 30% that are the massive middle. They're going to work, they got a house, they got a car. You know what I'm saying? Some of them folks is auntie that work for the government at the DMV. They ain't doing no crime. Do they know some criminals? Yes, because they're in the middle. They know some crime, but they're not in the crime. And then we have, now that's 60% right there, right? That's 60%. I took 60% out of the blacks. All right, I took it all over there. Now that last 40%, we're gonna divide it into two. We have I'm really gonna make it 25%, and then the last 15%. 25% is the business owners. It's the professional black class. It's the let's go there. It's your aunt and uncle who work government jobs and they got a pension and they got a house and they go on a bunch of Carnival cruises and they living good. They looking at y'all like y'all just need to save y'all money and work, right? You have I'm in a military town right now. And the bulk of black people you meet, they have a house, they have multiple cars, they have $2,000 to $3,000 a month coming in pension. And when that group of people die, I don't know what America gonna do. I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know what the black community gonna do. Right? We have that layer of black people that are doing significantly well and are business owners and are doing well. Then you got that 15%. What's the 15%? I'm giving it an extra big number, but 15% are your sports, are your Oprahs, are your whoever's, the people in Wall Street you'll never meet, the people in DC you'll never meet, the movie executives, the Tyler Perrys, all those people, they up there. Okay, we're the most extreme version of K-shaped economy ever. Now, what happens to our top 40% in this country of black people? You're going to be taking care of cousins. Do y'all know how many times I get on the phone on this channel over the past couple of years and it'll be a husband and wife, they both make 10K a piece. I'm like, man, y'all should be balling. Y'all are wealthy black people. Or they'll both be sheriffs in somewhere and making a ton of money, and they'll go, Erica, I'm paying rent for my grandma, I'm paying rent for my sister, I'm paying rent for my brother, just so they don't come live with us. This is going to be on steroids in about 2 years. That's why when I tell y'all, if you're watching my channel, 9 times out of 10, and you're really getting the concepts, you're top 20% of black people. 9 times out of 10. You're thinking, you're alert, you're like, okay, I need to make some more money because I got family members over here that are hungry. Okay, I'm trying to get away from them. I'm trying to give some space between me and them. You're not out here recklessly having a bunch of children. You know, every time somebody complains about child support on the internet, I'm like, are you dumb? Are you stupid? Are you both? You both, okay? Like we've already separated extremely. I was showing my sister an event that's happening in South Carolina. And she looked at the video and said, that's too black for me. And I laughed, but I knew exactly what she meant. Like the propensity numbers for violence, unruliness, danger, to be shot at, to be hurt. That event's too black for me. I knew what she meant. The Juvenile is having a concert coming up. And one of our cousins asked us, do we want to go? I said, hell, Juvenile? Do you know the type of people in the crowd that are going to come see Juvenile? Back that ass up, Juvenile? No, I'm good. I went to go see Nas in Las Vegas on our vacation, and we're both dressed up. We're dressed up. We got the suits on. Like that's on the paper. It says dress up. LeBron James and his wife come in there, not dressed up. There are other Negroes in the crowd, not dressed up. Okay. And I said, this is right at the line where we glad this is a lot of older black people, so we don't got to worry about the violence, but it's right at the line. Okay. So I'm just telling y'all, like, you know what I'm saying when I do these shows. I don't know why y'all be like, Erica, I don't know what you mean. You know what I mean. You know what I mean? Well, Erica, white people and Latino people and Asian people watch your show. They do. And I get phone calls from y'all, and I'm thankful for all of it. But I'm just letting you know, like, I'm mostly at country music concerts, right? But like, just letting you know, when I go in the bank and this banker saw my income, he was like, nah, bring me in 12 months worth. So then I bring him 12 months worth. And I'm bringing him in multiple years taxes. He's like, wow. He's like, I'm not trying to be funny, but I have not met a black woman come in my office, make this much money. And I looked and he a white man now. And he was like, I'm not trying to be funny. And he's in a black area. I was in Houston, Texas, baby. He done seen black people. I promise you, as I'm working with that banker, he's like, there shouldn't be a bank that tells you no in America because you're at 1%. You're in you fit in this area, like high roller numbers. And I said, damn, bro. He's like, yeah. I remember telling people I made $100K working at property management, 120,000, working at property management and delivering pizzas for 2 years in a row, 120 both years. And people were like, oh my God, like what? And the lady was like, you can qualify for this much house in Austin. You can do this, you can do that. The math isn't complicated. It's who knows the information and what is the mindset with the information, right? I don't always do these shows to brag on myself. It's not about bragging on myself. I'm just telling you, we've been in an extreme K-shaped economy in the Black culture for a long time. That's why when I hear manosphere people talking about Keishas and baby mamas, they're shopping. They're shopping in the Section 8 aisle. They want to tell you they're a quality brother shopping in the Section 8 aisle. They're shopping at the bus stop. They drive past the bus stop and the booty look big and they're like, yes, hello. I can't believe she hit me upside my head. And you be like, but you were shopping in the Section 8 aisle, and brother, you went to school, you a Kappa, you have a good job. Why are you over there? Do you see what I'm saying? There's levels to this. There's class to this. You can't save them all. Okay, let me keep going. Let me play some more of the video. I just wanted to break up talking in the video. I don't want you two to be like, you copyright strike for the 17th time.
Go back to the point you just made. The key to Black survivalship at this point in time is what I call political economics, which means we got to figure out how we can start practicing group economics and group politics and do it very successfully and effectively quickly. And that means all the way down the line. That means going into the retail industry, all the way down to the resource. We got to become producers instead of consumers. We got to not only have retail outlets, but we must have manufacturers, producers, wholesalers, warehouses, and distributors. Underneath every business that we have, we got to do everything humanly possible to hold our capital in our disposable capital in our communities. We must make it bounce 8 to 12 times before it leaves. Currently, as you know, it doesn't bounce one time. We must learn how to formate capital. Now, how do we formate capital? There are a lot of ways we can do it. The first way is what I indicated to you on the last show, is try to keep that 95% of disposable income that's currently going into the white community, keep it in our communities. And since the whites are boycotting our communities, and we are boycotting our own communities, we can never recapture it that way unless we stop it. The second thing we must do is to try to figure out other creative ways of getting capital, i.e., we have what we call a property confiscation program in this country. Most of that money in that program is coming out of activities, illegal activities that Blacks were caught in. And last time I checked, at the federal level, we had approximately $700 million. Okay. Now, typically what happens to that money and those properties is that it's given through the good old boy network to their friends and passed on and used for other purposes. Now, that money and that collateral belongs to no one. Now, what we should start doing in this country as a Black nation, start insisting that money comes back to the Black community in a liquefied form.
That is an interesting assertion. And one of the points that can be made is that in everything you're saying and what you point to in this book as solution-oriented,
that's right,
for the Black political and economic situation in America, is to devise a national strategy. All of this you're talking about comes under the guise of formulating a national strategy for economic and self-empowerment.
That's right. And why this is so critically important, Daryl, is because if we buy into the current economic philosophies of the mainstream society, we are through. Because they're going to continue to pump new technology into the market, and we're going to be the last hired and the first fired, and we're going to continue to become obsolete increasingly, where our unemployment will continue to escalate and our displacement will continue to escalate. We must come up with a new system that would take us out of that philosophy and build an alternative social economic system for ourselves if we're to survive. And it must be politically, economically based. Okay.
Does that mean we continue to go begging to the current tax system, the current federal bureaucracy? How can we do it outside that web?
Well, we're gonna.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you one thing. Nothing is sexier to me than listening to men from the 1990s speak and the 1970s. They actually had an amazing vocabulary. Like, vocabulary is expansive. I love it. I can watch it over and over again. It reminds me of some of my uncles from Chicago. Just, you had to read, you had to be sharp, and you had to be able to speak. Baby, I love it. Nowadays, you talk to some men, they like, oh, I be like, what? Why are you mumbling? You are a grown man. This is horrible. Let me get back on track. Same thing with mushmouth ladies. I can't take mushmouth ladies either. You sound like gorilla in real life. I'll be like, oh, honey, no. Just being honest with y'all. You've heard this forever. Last hired, first fired. We've heard this forever. We heard this forever. It is true. It's been true. It's not changed. The problem is, I'll talk to people who mama got a government job, daddy got a government job, the daughter, sons got government jobs, and they're all living in DC in separate housing, driving Mercedes-Benz and BMWs, and they have nothing left. And every time something happens where there's a government shutdown, they crying. And I'll be like, between the four of y'all almost make $800,000 a year. There's no reason that y'all can't work together and buy rentals every single year just off the income y'all have in y'all pocket. Y'all are trying to live the consumerism DC lifestyle instead of, continuously investing. Right? We all had the rich aunties, the babysitter. Like when y'all act like y'all surprised about the Somalians, I'm like, we all knew babysitting aunties or aunts who had baby daycares, and they were the wealthiest Black woman you knew, right? We all knew somebody who had a food restaurant. She was a wealthy lady. We all knew somebody who had the hair salon and she owned all the booths and ladies rented space from her and she was wealthy. Like we all know those people. So money's been in the Black community, flowing around, moving around. We see people now doing the locks. Again, anytime I have anybody that's a beautician, eventually your hands will hurt and you will either have to own the salon and rent the booths out, or you will have to make some type of hair care product that you can sell. That's it. That's the only way you scaling out of that. Those are the two. Okay. And so when they say, are we going to still talk to the same government to get money? Yes. Yes, we're going to talk to the same government to get money. Yes. Can we raise money from each other? Can people do crowdfunding? Yes, it happens all the time. What's the fastest way? Again, my personal trainer who was retired military, went home every day, 45 minutes, read, wrote, submitted government submissions on SamGov and walked away with millions in under a year. Why? Eric Coffey's been telling y'all, who has the patience to get up and read daily and submit paper daily? Who has the discipline? Who has the patience? Not many. That's why we had to hire somebody. I'm like, girl, I ain't got time for this. I will hire somebody. I will gladly pay them weekly to read as many as possible, submit it, just shotgun them bad boys out. Put my tribal ID on there, put that I'm Black, put my tribal enrollment, Native American stuff on there, put all of it on there. We're going to get some contracts. And if you're in my Middleman to Millions school group, I showed you how to get some of those too. Okay. Like we already walked through all that process. That's why I'm just telling people, if you're ready for action, now is the time. This is the Trump summer of money. And many are going to be like, no, the gas is going to be so high. We're going to be struggling. I'm like, if you are listening to me and all you can hear is gas is going to be high, food is going to be expensive, and Trump is making me suffer, you are not paying attention. Simple as that. You're not paying attention. Let me play some more because I'm just trying to get to a certain time period of this.
We're gonna have to get outside of the web because that's the way they have a schedule presently. You hear all this talk, for instance, about reducing the size of government, anti-government. Mm-hmm. What they really want to do is reduce the size of government because they know that about 68 to 70% of the Black folk that got an education are employed in some level of government, either the city level, county level, state level, or federal level. So you start talking about downsizing government, what you're really talking about is disemploying Black folk. But you never hear them say, first of all, if we're going to downsize government, why don't we commit a study that would determine the impact on Black folk when we do this, since a disproportionate number of Black folk are using those kinds of opportunities for income? Secondly, what are we going to do when we in fact displace those Black folk? What are we going to do with those monies that we save from downsizing government? Will we kick Blacks off the second level out of welfare? What happens to the money we save from welfare? Why don't you put that money at the top level from downsizing government and downsizing welfare? Why don't you put that money into an alternative economic development system for Black folk to do what you have never done for them, to assist them in developing a business structure in this country? But you never hear that as a solution.
And I guess you never hear it because in this day and time especially, there seems to be a mood and a philosophy being transmitted that the government has given, in effect, everything Black people have by way of positive development and achievement in this country Everything that Black people have that's positive has come from government action. The current administration would certainly seem to want that to be the case.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they've been trying to perpetuate that myth for years now. As a matter of fact, ironic, I think it's funny that first of all, we must realize that Black folk have only been out of semi-slavery now for about 30 years. Only 30 years. Mm-hmm. Now, when they first came out in the mid-1960s, they came into what we call the Great Society programs that were permitted to exist for about 3.5 years. Now, even though those programs were not specifically designed and focused on Blacks were supposed to somehow to have gotten involved in those programs and achieve wealth. And in 3.5 years, we're supposed to have corrected 350 years of subordination, exclusion, and subjugation.
Mm-hmm. It's all supposed to have worked out in 30 years.
So even before that, the 1960s, right? I even hate when they bring up the 1960s. I'm like, no, take it back to 1920s and 1930s, where we had World War I, World War II. Okay. And what ended up happening in World War I and World War II? There were so many Black men, millions, like 5 million that came back and could have gotten, it was more than 5 million. I think it was closer to 6 million, who could have gotten a college education. Right. And what do I mean? They would have been doctors, nurses, lawyers. Like literally, they said it would have been 2 tiers of America. It'd have been a very extreme number of wealthy Black middle class and a wealthy white middle classes. They were uplifting white men at the same time with housing and GI Bill and giving them VA loans. And so when you look back at this data, that was the real splinter. Because when those same Black men 2 years later, 3 years later, tried to go back and use the GI Bill, the government refused to pay the bill. And if you bring this up to white people who are former military or, well, there was a ton who got to go. So, I'm like, no, that's like saying 10 men could have went to college and only 3 got to go. What happened to the other 7? The other 7 lost out on potential generations of wealth, housing, money. Now, I'm not going to be stuck in the past. And I know you're like, okay, Erica, what about now? What can we do now? And I hear all that. And that's what I'm getting to. What is the outcome of all this? This is all great. I told you all this. I broke down this video. I showed this video. My point of bringing this up is when I ask people of the last 5 to 10 years, have they been pre-approved for housing? Have they got quoted a mortgage? Have they looked into farming, picking back up their dad or mom's farm? Have they, tried to get government certifications? Have they tried to get certs? They look at you crazy like you got 2 heads. Now I'm gonna show 2 little parts and I'm gonna say money cannot be the only solver. It has to be education and it has to be the right people getting money. Now, if you see on the screen, this is an NFL player who's been playing for 7 years in the NFL. One of the smartest things he's doing is talking to Ben Mala. Now, how did he find Ben Mala? Off the internet, off YouTube. When every day y'all talk to me, Erica, why are you doing YouTube? Blah, 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 blah. You've been doing it all these years. Why are you doing it? I've actually spoken to NFL players, you guys, retired NFL players who've been injured, who get checks, who have lawsuits going. I've talked to 4 now. It's not that many, but I've talked to 4 and I have 4 that are friends of our family from my cousins when they played sports in college and NFL. And literally, we are giving money to, I'm not going to say the dumbest, but I'm going to say some of the dumbest who know like it's a lot of money. Like they can play you in your face like, oh, it's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money. We literally had a family friend be on the Miami Dolphins for 5 years. And he was saying how his contract at the time was like $680,000, right? And that's before taxes or whatever. And he would just save all his money. And every time he'd come back to North Carolina and Virginia, he'd buy up like mobile homes or little rental houses in the summer, fix them. Nobody would know it was him owning them and kept it moving and went back and went to go train at the training camp and went back. Now, by the time he got out, because he tried to leave y'all ain't gonna know who I'm talking about, but he left the Miami Dolphins and he went to the Raiders and they cut him after 1.5 years. And so by the time he got home, he had an aunt who had a stroke and she was in a wheelchair. And I've told y'all this story before. And she was like, oh, I need housing. I can't, I got to get out of this apartment on the 3rd floor. He's like, cool, no problem. He found a trailer with a ramp, brand new trailer with a ramp. And she was like, I'm not living here. You got money. I thought you was going to put me in a house. This is a person who only did almost 7 years in NFL. He didn't even have anything flashy. He had 2 cars and lived in an apartment in Miami. Okay. And so you have people who have this crazy No, I don't want to pull down the blinds. There's no blinds here. This is all open. And he basically would essentially, save all his money and keep buying these rentals off to the side and never told anybody in his family because he wanted to make it seem like he didn't have money. Every training camp, he'd have black men saying, hey, man, can I borrow a couple bit of money from you, man? Let me borrow a couple thousand. I know you save your money real good. Let me borrow your money, man. I'll give it back to you when we get our checks. And he said he would talk to guys and they would have 7 girls in different apartments in Atlanta, in Virginia, in Florida. And he said they'd be paying their rent. It's like, oh, their rent's like $800. It's only $700. It's only $1,200. And he's like, you're paying 7 different women's rent. Like that's crazy. And he's like, oh, it's cheaper than me, blah, 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 blah. And he said that was a common story. So it's not that the NFL is not paying these guys enough. It's not that they don't know they got money. It's mental choices. It's mindset. It's tricking on steroids. Okay. Another guy, again, just want to play just the beginning of this. Again, just the beginning snippet, just so you can hear the amount of money and the amount of years.
Former NBA star player Trevor Ariza made over $123 million in his 17-year career. Yet, just recently, he said he had a negative balance in his bank account. You may remember him as the starting forward on the Lakers' 2009 title team, or as a player for your city's team as he played on 10 separate teams in his career.
Okay, let's just go there for a second. 17 years. This isn't a 2-year run. This isn't a 3-year run. This isn't a 5-year run. This isn't, oh my God, I'm not educated. I can't adjust to the mentality of I need to invest this money. I need to be smarter with this money. I need to put this money away. I need to buy things. Again, when our friend that left the Miami Dolphins and left the Raiders, when he retired, he had over 12 rentals. And nobody knew. They were like, man, you live so good. You good, man? And he got a sales job at one of the software offices in Raleigh. The guys just wanted him in there because he was a former football player. They literally taught him his job because he didn't know anything about software, right? He didn't know anything about sales. And so you're sitting here, and 2 of the players I end up having some conversation with, they are smart enough to got a few rentals. And they're like, Eric, I don't know if I want to do that or what I want to do. And I'm like, don't go spend a bunch of money. Because your time in the NFL is done. Like all you need to be doing all day is watching the most boring content, educating yourself. You're on a crash course to figure out how to use this capital wisely for the rest of your life, or unless you're ready to go get a job. And that's just is what it is. So this whole plan, I didn't know. I couldn't figure it out. You've had 17 years in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you ain't a football player, so you ain't been getting hit in the head. Okay, you ain't been getting hit in the head. Now, do they get stolen from a lot? Heck yeah, this is true. We all know this. But my whole point in showing this is people acting like there's no money or they haven't been given enough money. I'm not going to let people play that sob story anymore. And this is the book I was talking about earlier. This is The Disintegration, the Splintering of Black America. You can go read this book for yourself. Eugene Robinson came out with it. I wish he would come out with an updated, but I'm pretty sure he's just too old now. He's just too old probably. But you can go read this, and I tell you, it'll put a good focus on what's the issue. But essentially, when we sit here and tell people they made programs for childcare, daycare, after school programs, home health care, the government is giving millions of dollars, billions of dollars into construction, into real estate, into all this stuff. And people will sit here and look at me and say, well, I don't want to own a daycare. I don't want to do home health care, Erica. I don't want to do this. It's hard to find employees. I'm not telling you to wipe the asses. I'm not telling you to wipe snotty noses of children. I'm not telling you to be a tutor because you're not a tutor. I'm telling you to own the building, own the business model, pay the staff, and let the government give you millions of dollars because they wrote all those laws. They put all that pork in there for the blacks, for the poor Americans, for the low income. Now you're going to say, Erica, all black people ain't low income. 43% of black Americans work in service industry and make $30,000 a year or less. So who the hell you think they're talking to? 43%. Let me say it again for the ladies in the back. Mad they ain't going to Roof Chris, okay? 43% of black people are in service industry and make less than $30,000 a year. So when I sit here and tell you I was working 2 jobs, and they were like, why are you working so much? I said, because it don't make no sense to me. What y'all talking about? When y'all sitting here, no children, in the city, partying, living in the most expensive apartments, none of this added up for me. It was simply a math equation. Okay, I'm just going to go work the second job for 3 hours in the afternoon. I'm good. I'm going to let it stack up. Then when I started doing YouTube and I started giving consulting calls, people would be like, what do you think about this, Erica? What should I do? I'd be like, well, damn, that's just basic math. Let me help you. Like, and sometimes we can't see it because we're in the problem. So somebody can help you from the outside. I'm not the best coach. I'm not the most phenomenal coach. I just tell people all the time, sometimes you can't see the problem because you're in the problem. But 9 times out of 10, if you tell me you make 30K a year and you struggling, I'm going to ask you what you doing with the 5 to 9 in your afternoons. And be like, well, I'm driving Uber, I'm driving Lyft. That's possible. But what's the next step? I remember being so disappointed. I think I was watching O'Shea channel, and this guy was like, he studies Portuguese for 4 hours a night after work. He had a low-paying job. He's studying Portuguese 4 hours a night so he can spend 2 weeks a year in Brazil so he can speak Portugal. Baby, if you can spend 4 hours a night learning Portuguese, your ass need another job. You need another job. You're spending 4 hours a night for a year to learn Portuguese so you can go for 2 weeks out of the year and trick off in Brazil. Sir, you got the drive. You're just misusing it. You got the intelligence. You're just misusing it. You're just misusing it. That's all. Like you're not a bad guy. You're just misusing the brain. Like we're misusing. We're listening to the wrong brain, but we're misusing it. 4 hours, you could have got a trade. You could have started a business. You could build a damn house. 4 hours a night after you leave work every night. Sir, you're smart. You just are misusing it. Right? Having another language is a plus if he was getting hired at a job where he spoke Portuguese, they was going to pay him double the money he's getting paid now. It ain't no plus to just go trick. That's not a plus. That's not a plus. Okay? So again, I salute all the content creators that are coming out here telling people about grants and government and money and, hey, come do agriculture. But again, people are going to be like, well, who going to work the farm? I ain't going to work the farm. No, duh. No, duh, Sheila. You're not going to work the farm. There are people in these little country ass towns. They don't ever want to leave that little ass town. And all they want to do is you pay them $13 an hour, Monday through Friday. And then they get to hang out and drink beer on the weekends. And when people ask them what they're doing, yeah, I'm helping that black woman in town with her farm, helping her fix that farm. They don't care. They don't care. I mean, again, I keep telling y'all, like, they don't care. And you will, it's rare to meet a farmer that made less than $1 million a year. It's rare, y'all. It's rare. And it's just because choices. It's just choices. Okay. I'm just gonna let that again. Y'all making it harder than it is. Most farmers have a second job in the city or somewhere else. They don't even be out here. They don't even be out in the fields like that. Okay. Let me see. Do I have that other thing I was trying to show y'all? Let me see if I have it. All this to say, you're like, Eric, okay, you talked about this. You talked about Elon Musk. You talked about Austin. You talked about, my whole thing is they're going to go business as usual. And they're going to do it on steroids. On steroids. They're all the programs, all the plans, everything that they wanted to get in here, that they wanted to push through, it's coming. It's coming. Right? I use Austin because it is an example, but I'm telling you, like, what they have planned financially, it's already rolling. It's already rolling. You can decide either to be rolled over or figure out how to make some money on it. So that's most of the show that I'll have for the rest of the year. Do I feel Donald Trump's in terrible health? Absolutely horrendous health. But they're going to keep the program going. They're going to figure out everything in their possibility to just, hey, listen, when he starts talking too crazy, that it'll be pre-recorded. You won't even hear from him. They'll be like, hey, where's Trump? Listen, I'm just telling you, like, you won't even hear from him. They'll start rolling out different people to talk. What happened to Netanyahu, y'all? They think he's been killed. Have you heard from him since this is started? No. They rolling out everybody and their mom to come out here on the TV, on the news. Hey, let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about that. Like, whoa, where's Netanyahu? They doing everything to keep y'all like, don't talk about that. Don't ask about where he is. That's what we're gonna have with Trump. Not yet, but it's coming. Now I want to show you another example of like how crazy the money is in America. Just like 3 more videos. I'm gonna get y'all out of here. You know, Trump has money to buy health, but that's the problem. When they told Trump, hey, he needs to walk, he needs to exercise, he needs to do all these things, Trump's like, oh, I don't like doing that. And you can't make a grown person at 80 do any of that. You can't. You just can't. You can't. It's not like you can, I'm gonna tie him up and force him. No, that doesn't work like that. This is an example of how complicated money is, y'all. Do you understand? Let me play this for y'all. Again.
Born in Michigan. My wife goes to medical school in Nashville, Tennessee, and we've been in a long distance marriage for about 1.5 years now. I work in Michigan from Monday through Thursday. Thursday evening, I fly to Nashville to be with my wife from Thursday through Sunday. It never gets easier spending the week away from each other, but right now in this season of our life, it's just what we have to do. I need to work because I'm the sole income for our family while she's taking advantage of a great opportunity to go to medical school in Nashville. We're in our building season right now. We are laying the foundation for the life we want to live in the future. And by God's grace, we're doing our best. My name's Kofi, and I'm an engineer. I work in Dearborn, Michigan. My wife goes to medical school in Nashville, Tennessee, and we've been in a long distance marriage for about 1.5 years now. I work in Michigan from Monday through Thursday. Thursday evening, I fly to Nashville to be with my wife from Thursday through Sunday. It never gets easier spending the week away from each other, but right now in this season of our life, it's just what we have to do.
Okay. It's an hour and 30-minute flight. I'm not trying to be funny. It's a 7-hour drive. This couple, we see this is a stressful time in their life. Yes, this is stressful that they're having to travel back and forth. But if we come back and check on this Black couple in about 5 years, crazy wealth, right? Just follow the plan. Just follow the plan. It's not hard. Follow the plan. Okay. Now, again, I showed this again. I don't know if Man of Tomorrow's still in here. Y'all let me know if Man of Tomorrow's still in here. I wanted to show him this. If Man of Tomorrow's still in here, y'all let me know. Try to at Man of Tomorrow, see if he's in here. Let me see. Is Man of Tomorrow still in here? I want to do a show with him on this. Is tomorrow? He probably gone. I think he gone. Yeah, he gone. Okay, it didn't pop up, so he must not be in here. If Man of Tomorrow's in here, or any of y'all send this clip to him, I'm going to send this clip right here. This is the clip I'm talking about. I played this before. I'm going to play it again.
So I've been in the Army for 6 years, and today we're closing on our 3rd house. Let's talk about how the military has helped me get ahead utilizing real estate. In 2019, we bought our first home in Texas and got it for a great price and rate due to COVID-19. Now, while a lot of people decided to sell, I decided to keep it and rent it out. And now that property's earned me almost $100,000 in equity and is rented out consistently by tenants who are paying down my mortgage monthly. In 2023, we moved again, but this time to Louisiana and purchased our 2nd home. After living there for 2 years, the plan was to sell originally, but we decided to rent that one out as well. Now we just closed on our 3rd property here in South Carolina. By utilizing rental income from the first 2 properties on this 3rd one, we now have more flexibility and a cheaper mortgage because those other properties are helping cover the cost of this one. That's the power of passive income, letting your assets work for you while you keep on building.
Do you know how many YouTube, TikTok Black soldiers are online getting put out of the military, getting deranked, getting knocked down in their rank because they want to post ridiculous TikToks and show you their damn Hellcat? And in 6 years, this man done bought 3 houses. I just want to tell you, it's all about mindset. It's all about mindset. It literally is like, are you paying attention? Do you see what's happening in front of us? Are you looking? Are you paying attention? No, they're not. Let me play this and energy lockdowns, and I'm wrapping up there. Here we go.
Old 3M campus on 2222, now called High Point 2222, a site that's been mainly dormant for the last few years until now. Developers just filed plans for $610 million in upgrades, including major electrical infrastructure improvements. And that's a big clue to who's moving in here, because when you see that kind of demand in power, you're usually not talking about office space. You're usually talking about data centers, AI, advanced tech users. Now, here's where things start getting more interesting. A recent filing tied to the project to SB Energy, a company backed by SoftBank. The SB Energy is already involved in a $1 billion partnership with OpenAI as part of the Stargate AI initiative. Now, people are connecting the dots, and here's some more. Multiple sources say ARM Holdings, one of the world's largest semiconductor companies, could also be expanding into the campus. This is the same company that designed chips used by Apple, Samsung, and Qualcomm. So where is this all going? Well, a former office campus turning into a major AI and semiconductor hub in Austin. This isn't just a small site. This is a 1.1 million square foot.
Okay. Again, super important. Go check this video out. I don't want to be fear mongering, but go check him out. This is a tall tycoon guy. You guys see him all the time. Is the world heading for an energy lockdown in 2026? Go check it out.
Energy prices go up, it causes a disproportionate rise in prices. Now, here's the kicker. The future will run on three things: compute, data, and energy. Energy is the foundation of it all. So when energy gets constrained, it doesn't just affect gas prices. It affects the future of the entire system. Government's not going to call it a crisis right away. First comes conservation messaging. Work from home to save fuel. Limit non-essential travel. Reduce consumption. It won't be framed as control. It'll be framed as a necessity, a mandate. And step by step, the system will start to tighten. By the time most people realize it, it'll be too late. Follow me for more on where this is going and how to position your investment. The biggest lockdown since COVID.
Okay, pause right there. I don't know if you can see the screen big enough. If you're not,
it could be forming.
Right
They're not going to.
There you go. So what did I tell y'all that I've been saying for the past 2 years? Solar, 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 solar. Every time this happens, you're going to see there's still 800. I can't remember if it's 800 billion or 800 million. It's some ridiculous number is still left over from Biden's green initiatives. People are going to be selling solar all summer long. People are going to be selling foam install. People are going to be selling installation all summer long to save you on your heating costs, your electricity costs, your the light bill, energy bills, all this stuff. So if you're a middleman of millions too, we've talked about it a lot, but we'll talk about it even more. And this is what you're going to see. You're going to see guys, literally, I know Latino guys who made $1 million in solar, and you ask them, hey man, what's your processes? What you do? They just had a bunch of kids knocking doors. It was insane. And this is what you'll see again this summer and over the next year. Again, Michael Dell, go look up Michael Dell's son, who's 29 years old, just raised $1 billion for a solar business, and go look up what's going to happen with it. I just want you to understand him and Tesla, because y'all think Tesla's about cars. No, Tesla is about putting those Tesla power packs up in your house for your solar energy Listen, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it tonight. We don't have enough time. We don't have enough time. So I just want to show that. And then the last thing I want to end with, whenever they say black people don't have culture, why are they in London doing it? What? But we have no culture. What y'all over there doing that for? Anyways, I'm going to end on that note. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I hope I didn't miss anybody's big conversations in the chat. I know a ton of guys who worked factory jobs, office jobs, and then, yep, it's very common. It's very common. You would hope, right? Priorities. Man, these people are dummies. Yeah, sorry if I missed a lot of your conversations in here, but again, every time people complain about government shutdown, I go, you don't have no money saved. You don't have no money saved at all. You can't drive yourself around for a week. That's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Oh, also, here you go. Thank you. That's what I was going to try to look for. I teleported to get over here from this episode. I remember you setting it up and calling the play last week. I'm just being really honest. Like, the writing's on the wall if you're just alert. You know, when everybody tries to say, you're too harsh on parents, Erica, they did a combination of the Jimmy Kimmel, where the dads don't even know their children's birth date. They don't even know what color their own children's eyes are, and the child standing right beside them. I mean, it is real crazy. And so if you have people who can't even remember the birthdays of the two children they have with their wife, if they don't even remember those two birthdays over the whole year, how do you think they're paying attention to what's going on in the country? They're not. Black tax is a real thing. It's a real thing. Ooh, it's a real thing. And I be telling my family, I'm fighting with one arm tied behind my back. I don't have time to fight you too. So whatever y'all want, get out of my face. Here's some money, go away. Like, I just be telling people all the time, like, here's some money, go away. Some money, go away. Facts, Erica, that was in play for years about Iran. Oh yeah, they already knew what was coming. Cuba did too. That's why Cuba acting so shocked. I'm like, come on now, Cuba. You knew what was up. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, that's it. All right, you guys. Thank you, Ray Gunn, Super Chat. Thank you so much. Also, go check out Dr. Chaz and Retail Trailer. Listen, 1 monkey don't stop the show, but y'all better figure out how y'all gonna make the next 24 months the best 24 months. Good luck to you all. Later.
Hi, I'm Brandy Williams, founder of Williams Accounting and Tax Services in McDonough, Georgia. We're a full-service accounting firm proudly serving clients nationwide, including military families and U.S. expats. With over 20 years of experience as an IRS-enrolled agent, we've got you covered from past tax returns to business services and strategic tax planning. Visit WilliamsActTax.com. Let's get connected and take your finances to the next level.